Yeah, super happy to be back here and back on American soil and playing in front of the home crowd, and looking forward to having hopefully a good couple weeks here.
So let's talk Oscars. Glamour, fun. Just go off on that too. Who was the most fun, special people you met? What surprised you? And talk about, aside from your mom's great dress, talk about your dress and fashion.
Yeah, it was a super long day. We started at 9:30 and I finished at like midnight. But yeah, it was cool to just be in a different space in a different world. I got lucky that Miu Miu was able to dress me and give me a custom look, so that was really sweet of them. And yeah, the person I was most surprised about was definitely Samuel L. Jackson. He like came up to me. I took a photo with him. He took one with me, and they introduced me to Whoopi Goldberg, which was really cool. And I also saw Ben Stiller out there, which I wasn't so surprised with him because I know he's a tennis fan. So I was like, but I told him like he has to come to one of my matches because I only really see him at the men's matches. So I like told him he has to come. And then who else? Yeah, I got to meet a lot of people. Halle Bailey, which was super sweet. So yeah, it was a fun event to like meet people, and definitely was surprised. A lot, most people knew who I was, which was weird. But yeah, it was cool just to be around, a lot of people that I look up to and watch them in film and TV.
In your dress, you were so good. Just talking about your outfits in Australia, talk about your dress.
Yeah, the dress, yeah, was a custom Yumio look. I got to be a part of that process. They, picked out a bunch of sketches for me and colors for me to choose from, and we settled on that one. And then for the Vanity Fair, same situation, a bunch of things for me to choose from. But yeah, it was super cool just to play dress up. I don't think I've ever worn like a gown quite like that with the whole train. It was kind of hard to walk in with a lot of people stepping on the back of the dress, so I would have to like kind of carry the dress with me as I walked. But the Vanity Fair was my favorite just because it was a little bit more practical.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, speaking of American soil, including the United Cup, where you went 5-0, Americans have won half of the WTA tournaments this year.
Ooh.
Why do you think that is?
I think just a push. We're all pushing each other to do better, and Americans, especially on both men, especially on the women, but now the men have strong depth, and I think that it just inspires us to do more. You see one win a tournament, and you want to also do that, and yeah, I think it's just a healthy competition between us, and we all support each other. Obviously, when we're not playing each other, but I root for all the Americans, and all of them are nice. I don't really have any issues with any of them, which I think is great, especially considering how competitive the field is.
Typically, mentors are older.
Yeah.
But there are 7 under 23, and some of them look up to you.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's cool. I don't know. I don't really think about it, to be honest. I don't consider myself a mentor or anything. It's just me. I don't know. I'm just out here vibing, trying to do my best. But it is cool.
Yeah, Coco, you come into the tournament, not just you, but with the American women playing really, really good tennis. What are your thoughts on the women's game, the American women's game coming into this tournament?
Yeah, I think it's super strong. I don't remember the last time American women has won this tournament. I feel like it's been a while.
2001.
2001. Okay, so before I was born, and every year they love to remind us of that stat when we compete, and we're all like, "Who's it gonna be?" I was in the semis last year, so I was hoping it would be me. So hopefully this year we can. And if it's not me, hopefully it's American. But I just feel like this is the biggest tournament we probably have outside of U.S. Open, and we have to somehow figure out the way to bring the cup home. But I think Taylor was the last American in general to win. So, hopefully we can maybe do a double and have a woman and male win. That would be cool.
The WTA is doing a big rebrand. What are some things that you're hoping to see in this new iteration of the tour?
I think social content. Obviously, I'm someone who's on social media a lot. So yeah, a lot more TikToks and following the trends that a lot of the other sports are doing, which I know that WTA has a plan in place, and they asked for feedback, and that was like the main thing I noticed. I don't personally watch like TV or anything like that, so that's out of my expertise. But I think TikTok I'm pretty good in. So yeah, a lot more of TikToks with just players interaction, and hopefully some crossover content. I feel like the crossover content does well with ATP. So I would love to see some more crossover content.
Hey, Coco.
Hey.
Can you sort of talk us through what's been kind of a weird month for you? I mean, starting off so hot, and then February seems like the Middle East is not your favorite place to play. Then
Yeah.
again, you won the tour finals in that part of the world.
Yeah.
So how do you get through like a month like that and turn over a new leaf, and what's the process for dealing with that sort of thing?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I don't know. Everybody makes a bigger deal what it is. I lost 2 matches. I'll lose more matches back to back. It's gonna happen. Everyone's like, "Oh, she's thinking like, okay, we've been through this. I'll pick it back up." Yeah. So to me, it's I guess it feels like a month, but it's just 2 tournaments, and at this calendar, I have so many other opportunities, and I can't win every match. And yeah, it is a tough part of the swing for me. Just I think mainly because the conditions I don't think are in my favor. But at the end of the day, like yeah, I was upset that I lost, but I mean it's a loss. Like it's gonna happen again. I'm gonna lose back to back again, and hopefully it doesn't happen too many times in my career. But yeah, it's just one of those things that you just move on, get better, and the results will come. And it's just normal. I think, and I'm only 20 years old, going to be 21 next week, so it'll be kind of silly for me to think that it won't happen again if I'm going to be out here hopefully at least 10 more years.
And how are the conditions different from there versus, I mean, because like regular people, we just say like hard courts,
Yeah,
hard courts outside. And
yeah, I don't know if you guys like noticed, but in like Doha, a lot of the flatter hitting girls did better there. The ball doesn't bounce as much, a little bit for us who play with more spin. And yeah, so I think that was one of the things in Dubai. I mean I'm not using that excuses. It's being real. Some things just don't favor. Some conditions don't favor certain people. But yeah, a lot of the hard courts are different. They're slower. The ball doesn't really. I play with a little bit more spin. Doesn't really bounce as much. So I think a lot of those who played with spin struggled. And if you look at all the matchups, a lot of the flatter hitting girls end up doing better there. Whereas maybe here it's a little bit better for us who hit with more spin because the ball bounces on the court more. So there's different conditions. It's not just a hard court, but at the end of the day, it's what we have to deal with, and it's not. At some tournaments you do better at, and some you don't. That's just kind of how it is being a competitor, and you just learn how to do better in those conditions. So maybe next year I'll try to take some things that I learned and hopefully do better.
Okay, last two, we'll go here.
Coco, Cincinnati is a place where you've had a lot of success, and they're basically rebuilding that tournament from the ground up. It's going to be bigger draw, bigger site, and I just wondered if that's an exciting thing for you to look forward to.
Yeah, I was very happy to see that it was staying in Cincinnati. I know there was some talk about it moving, but I'm happy that I feel like that's such a rich tournament in just tennis in general. So I was happy for that to stay. And yeah, that's cool that they're getting a revamp. I mean, for me, I always like the tournament. I mean, I didn't have any issues, but obviously it's great for the fans also and players just to have a whole new revamp, especially leading into U.S. Open. But yeah, I'm excited. Like you said, it's one of my favorite tournaments to play. And I really do think that community loves tennis, and it's great to play in front of a crowd who are like true tennis fans and maybe not so much casual. But there's nothing wrong with being a casual fan, but it's just a different energy when you're playing with people who really love and know the game.
You became the face of Carol's daughter, I think, last year.
Yeah.
How has that process been like showing sort of what you can do with your hair on court, especially in sport where for black girls, like sweating and like getting your hair wet can be such a thing?
Yeah. I mean, I have natural hair, so it's very tough sometimes to manage. But one of the things I pride myself in is changing my styles. I get a lot of talk about it in the locker room, like how I change a lot. But I don't know. I think hair is so versatile, especially black hair can be so versatile. Like for example, this. I had 3 styles with this hairstyle. Literally at the Oscars, I had 3 different looks with this hairstyle. So I think that's just something that's fun about our hair that. This was kind of the foundation of it, but I could add some to make it into the bun I had at the Oscars and then change it into a ponytail for the Vanity Fair. And now wear it for braids from when I was playing. But yeah, it's one of the things I pride myself in. I love to play with colors. I love to play with textures. I love curls. I love it all. And like partnering with Carol's daughter has been such an ease because they actually helped me experiment with more styles. And I've always used Carol's daughter since I was young. So it was cool to be able to be a partnership with a brand that I already know and love. And yeah, I'm very very thankful for them. They helped style my hair alongside Darius for the Oscars and Vanity Fair. So basically every hairstyle that I've done pretty much has been Carol's daughter has been behind it over the course of the last year. Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.